All right, looks like we're live. Let's see here. I do first things up. Welcome to what's hopefully will be a little update in a chat, a little cathartic thing for me, and also maybe some news for you guys. It's been a really rough 48 hours for this region. We've had a wild set of circumstances, weather related circumstances, which are now sort of follow on issues all around the area to the northeast, to the southeast as well. And we're seeing really tragic sets of things happening in the hill country in Texas. And it's a lot, kind of a lot to cover, and I don't intend on trying to be some sort of news reporter on any of this. This is really a little bit cathartic for me, just to kind of be able to talk about it because we've gone through some stuff with friends and friends of friends that are pretty tragic. So first things first. If anyone wants to do anything to support the relief effort, let me see if this actually works here, if I can post this. And it won't, yeah, well, I guess it extended that. There we go. So there's places you can go donate money. We've got 1,000 people on the ground here in Kerrville. There's been a massive flood so I guess let's rewind. You can tell I'm a little discombobulated about all this. It's as the news is coming in from friends, it's becoming very personal, really personal. So anyway, I think so. We had this circumstance where, and I see Mo's here, so that's great. We had this circumstance where a cell of weather sat over two riverheads where they were joining. I think that's the right term for an extended period of time, and they believe that there was upwards of 10 or more inches of rain for an extended period of time. And in the past, it's usually one river or the other river, and unfortunately, this time it was both. And so we've been in a drought for several years here, and our average rainfall is 32 inches a year. We get, you know, we've been getting 20 or less ish. Uh, and so the hill country is in Texas is known for its summer camps for kids. Uh, Thousands of kids are here. There's one camp that I'm very familiar with, Lady Lodge. I know that it hosts over the course of the summer 2 to 3 thousand children in a Christian camp motif, right? A week or 2 weeks at a time. No cell phone, no connection with family, nothing. You're there to get right with God or have a great time or do a slippery slide with ice cream, right? Super fun. There's another camp, Camp Mystic. It's for girls only, all the way ages all the way down from 7 all the way into the teens. They do similar things. All these places, because it's stinking hot here in summer, they're all situated by the river, right? Or rivers. And then Camp Mystic is on the Guadalupe, which is one of the primary rivers. In fact, runs right through downtown. So that's kind of the context. This big storm happens, dumps everything on top of us, and because of the dry weather, that has caused massive flooding. We had now data varies, and I'm kind of a data guy, so I've been trying to track this. I've watched all the press conferences, and I'm talking to a lot of friends who are in the area, who are sharing information. So some of this is localized, what they saw in a particular point along the Guadalupe. And I'll share some of that with you in a minute. If you're interested, I'm happy to take on comments and questions as they go. And so, what was I going to say? So this 15 to 30 foot high wall of water built up momentum, came down the Guadalupe, washed out a lot of buildings, tents, RV parks, which typically tend to be on the river around here just because it's cooler and more comfortable by the water when there's water. Swept up all these RVs, trailers, mobile homes, campsites, buildings, porches, uprooted 200-year-old trees, gone, and all that's heading downstream. So, I guess my point here is that it's been chaotic for us and for the folks that are involved. Right, we've got a friend who owns an RV park. We're unsure where she is right now. Her entire campsite and every single RV, some which were occupied and some which were not, are gone. I have had friends say that they saw RVs and these airstreams and whatnot floating down the stream, spinning around in circles, with people banging on the glass, trying to get out, screaming, "Help me!" Terrifying shit. People in cars with their brake lights on, unfortunately, trying to not get out or unable to get out. And unfortunately, my wife's, I'm not a jealous guy, but, it's one of my wife's earliest boyfriends was camping with his wife and 2 kids. And they're dead. They've been confirmed deceased. We're missing 27 kids between the ages of 7 and 10 from just one location at Camp Mystic, and it's really hard to see these pictures of these little kids that are so sweet. But Mystic is not the only place. There's Heart of the Hills has lost a child. Casa Bonita has 7 kids missing. Hunt, there are still 7 people missing. There's an RV park that has 10 people missing. It's called HDR. And we're not special here either in Kerrville. There's stuff going on in Burnett County, which is to the northwest. Austin and Georgetown right now are getting hammered. Lake Travis, which is a it's not a controlled level lake. Well, it is. It's got a dam, so it is level controlled. They've received 16 inches of water across this lake, and if you go look at Lake Travis, it's a big ass lake. 16 inches is a lot. I guess the thing that is interesting to me here is I forget which hurricane it was now. It was several years ago because the kids were young and we were trying to teach them about giving back and participating in community and whatnot. So we all we jumped in the car and we drove southwest to Galveston and areas like that, and stopped the first place we saw that was trashed and just chipped in and helped for a couple of hours, and then went and found a search rescue team to work out what we could do to help. Right, so we just helped people clean up. Tragic, but the interesting thing down there is there's no trees, right? And so you don't get a sense of the power of nature until you see trees trees uprooted and things like that. That to me was impactful. So it was one thing to see a house demolished and all the rest of it. I've seen that plenty of times. We've seen lots of video of those sorts of things, and it's tragic when folks pass and are killed in these circumstances. But you're divorced from it because you're watching a video. You go down there and see it, and it's in the aftermath. The water situation here. There's a bridge that I cross nearly every other day to go into town, go do something, or mess around, go see a friend, or make friends or whatever in town. And below it is a park. It's either May Louise or Louise May Park. It's got a pavilion there where they do live concerts, and there was a July 4th concert planned, and people go down there every day of the week. You'll see hundreds of people down there. There's a walking trail. My wife walks down there 2-3 times a week. Um, there's this little pavilion, and it's all very quaint. It's a cute little town. It's got more nail salons than it has restaurants. It's kind of a classic sort of redneck. 20 to 40,000. I think they spoofed the population so they don't have to pay as good on the health insurance or something like that. But it's allegedly between 20 and 50,000 people live in Kerrville in the greater area. So this river runs from a town called Hunt through Ingram and then down into Kerrville. And the Guadalupe River kind of tracks all that stuff. And I am kind of rambling here, so either put up with it and enjoy it or tune out, whatever. But anyway, so this river, it's been dry, literally bone dry for years. And then earlier this year, we had a big storm over our house, literally sat on top of our sort of area, hail. Well, we had some, funny, I was pissing and moaning about it a month ago about how I've got white wall damage, what do you call it? Dry wall damage, and I got water in the house, all that sort of stuff, because we got 7 inches in an hour. It overwhelmed my flood mitigation stuff. And we're up high, so it's not a problem. But it's all fixed with time and money, right? So it's negligible. So I drove downtown this morning, and there's a bridge, as I was trying to get to the point here, there's a bridge that goes into town. And it's kind of like a semi-highway style bridge. The stanchions, the columns are every bit of 40, 50 feet high, and it's a substantial a substantial valley. And the water is 10 feet, 15 feet from the top of the base of the bridge. We had to go to San Antonio this morning, and we drove back over the bridge. And this morning we could see with the park and what was left of it. And the thing that struck me, besides the pavilion is gone, the asphalt's all torn up, the concrete's blown out. There's all these beautiful little staggered dams so that people can jump in the water and swim and whatnot. They're all kind of just full of debris. But the thing that struck me is that these massive, I'm talking, these trees are massive round oaks, whether they're oak, they're not oak. Some of them are oak trees. What are the trees that grow? Not willows. There are trees that grow along the river. Cypress, maybe it's cypress trees that grow along. Massive things. Well, they're all blown over, and you can see the roots. But here's the thing that struck me. There's no branches. There's no leaves. There's just a trunk of there's just a trunk of a tree left. The water was so violent that it stripped the branches and the leaves, and the trunks are just left for hundreds and hundreds of yards. You can see down this river, and all of that debris, and there's chunks of building and all sorts of stuff everywhere, and all of that, it went downstream and just slammed into people's properties and whatnot. So a friend of mine, and we'll leave his name out of it because he had a rough couple of days. He was very funny about it, but he had a rough couple of days. They have this beautiful. So they're on a very skinny, relatively. They occasionally canoe in the Guadalupe, but they haven't for years. So they have this sort of house up off the banks, and then there's this graduated leveling down. I have this lovely little patio that's probably 25, 30 feet back from the river. And it's up, let's call it a grade of 10 feet, maybe 8 feet, 10 feet, something like that. It's a gentle grade. Lovely patio, and he built it all himself, right? So he's a kind of builder guy. He knows what he can use a hammer in both hands. These big 4x4 posts and covered barbecue area, stone, built-in kitchen, the whole shooting match. And he posted this video, and he goes, I'm not sure whether it was the RV or the LP, the 500-gallon LP gas tank, which he had a video of spinning around in circle, pissing LP gas out, smashed through his entire deck like it was, nothing, like matchsticks. So it's been just insane here with this weather, and so they're calling it a 100-year event. I'm not sure how that all plays out. I was talking to my builder when we were discussing the repairs that need to be done because of things that weren't done right the first time, and he goes, well, getting 7 inches of rain in a couple of hours, that's very unusual. It's kind of like a 50-year event. And I said, well, bro, I don't care whether it's a 100-year event. You need to build a house to specification that will withstand a volume of rain. Anyway, we managed to come to terms on that. All right, so let me just check in on a quick. Oh, wow, my gosh, I guess I just was prattling on, wasn't I? I'm gonna repost this if you want to help thing. This is really why I'm doing this, is so that if you want to help, go give money. We've got 1,000 people. They actually said do not volunteer your helicopter. We've got 14 or 20 helicopters here. We've got guys with boats. No more boats. No more food. No more water. No more clothes. Stop. Money for people to rebuild. We don't know how all these folks are going to recover from all this. I don't know what gets covered by that sort of insurance. And so someone said, how far am I? I'm 5 miles from the river and from this bridge that I was talking about. And it's 5 miles of windy, hilly nonsense. But I'm 1 mile from another creek called Lower Turtle Creek. And it suffered some pretty severe flooding as well. Once again, I'm our place. We probably took too many trees out, but our place is up on a fairly decent slope. So that's my son's house. Where is we're up pretty high. I wouldn't say we're 500 feet up, 400 feet. I don't know, above sea level. I don't know how you. If we get rain up to my deck, then it's end of times, my friends. Anyway, so let me get back here to saying hi to folks. Yeah, here you go. And Mo, my man, was providing me some insights earlier on and yesterday, because he's a wannabe meteorologist. Yeah, and this was the thing. This channeling, it blew out. Thank goodness this happened at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? And so there was a guy. One of the city manager was out running at 3:30 a.m. I don't know who does that. He actually goes, "Yeah, I'm that guy." He's just like stacked up. He looks like some ex-Marine dude or Navy SEAL or whatever. Anyway, he's out running 3:30, and he goes, "Oh, everything was gorgeous and beautiful and whatnot." 4 a.m. the water hit Kerrville, so that meant that had to travel. It was traveling between 1 and 2 a.m. down through Hunt and Camp Mystic and all that sort of stuff. And anyway, it was a 20 to 30 foot wall of water, and now I lost my point. Yeah, so it's substantial dumps happened in a very short period of time. And my point is, that's right. I'm thankful that it happened at 4 a.m. and not at 9 or 10 a.m. when people are coming and going shopping and, driving down to Walmart. The bridge that crosses over to go to Walmart, that thing's covered in trees. That shit is shut down still today, even now. There are one of the dams broke somewhere along the way, all sorts of shit. So, and this is a really good point here. One of the challenges we've had in Texas is the aquifers that to keep where you dig for water wells and whatnot. You get only 7% of the rain that falls actually ends up in an aquifer. Which is why I elected to go with rainwater collection versus well water, not only because it's better for you and less minerals and nasty stuff in it, but it also I can collect my water off my system. We're rated for 10,000 gallons an hour, and we collect 2,000 gallons per inch of rain, I think, based off my roof. So that means all the rest of the rain, 7% of that goes to the aquifer, and everybody gets their fair share. So it's all good. And this is this is the hard part for me. I mean, we got a lot of kids that are not yet. No, it was Harvey. You're right. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on here. I'm trying to look at these quick commentaries here. Flows 500 cubic feet per second due to flame. Yeah, so that's an insane amount of power when it comes to that, right? So. Yeah, Blast Mob, that's a really good point. It's interesting that I believe if we, one of the, I think once again, I think it was city manager who was saying that if you looked at the 100-year map, it corresponded almost exactly to that. And then the stuff that's going on in other parts of Texas right now is a 500-year event, is what they're saying. I don't know how they know that per se, right? I mean, we don't. I'm sure. Well, I know we don't have records back 500 years, right? Unless we can do substrata assessments and stuff like that. Who knows? And there's been a lot of that stuff going on. And when I first saw what was going on here, my first commentary was let me just get through these quick comments here. My first assessment, my first thought was, look, why aren't we able to do some sort of early warning system? But I don't think we can. Here's the good news. There's a wide range of reasons for that in terms of variability of where the weather lands and how long it sits in one location. But here's the amazing and fantastic thing that happened, which is a huge blessing for Texas and is a credit, despite how much I can't stand the current political climate in Texas, the governor and whatnot. The pre-positioning of assets in and around the hill country and other areas and follow-on areas was nothing short of miraculous. Let me see if I can get this right. I believe the National Weather Service basically got it wrong, but said that there would be widespread rain, 6 inches over this area, but they couldn't assess down to the local cell level. And the Texas State Emergency Services groups did their own forecasting and assessment and basically decided to pre-position assets in the Kerrville area, very close actually. And so there were guys, and I assume girls, guys and girls on the ground in vehicles doing 911 responses at 4 and 5 a.m. as the wall of water was approaching Kerrville. They were headed up. I'll call it upstream. Just they were headed up Guadalupe River to respond to calls, and they themselves were almost caught in the action. And I'm not gonna. I don't want to denigrate shit that happens in California or whatever, but rather than waiting 2 or 3 days to work it out, or not pre-positioning anything in advance, let's use that as the caveat. Uh, the the Texas Emergency Services, Sheriff's Office, City Police, first responders, all the fire departments, all the ambulance crews. My neighbor across the hill there, he's one of the helper, emergency services helper guys. He's like 78 or something like that. So he's out there directing traffic and chipping in and helping doing stuff, right? 1,000 people on the ground, a couple hundred boats, 14 helicopters, all in action from 4 a.m. onwards. So just a fantastic, high quality response, which to me mitigates the fact that we can't really assess and analyze and predict where the shit's going to happen. But it would seem to me that here's a great example of where we could use, it's kind of scary, kind of 1984ish. But wouldn't it be cool if we could have little weather tracker systems scattered around high vulnerability areas, rivers, ravines, valleys, whatnot, that are able, using AI to measure barometric pressure and water volume and all the rest of it, and rainfall, to give us some leading early indicators. Because one of the things that happened here, for all of us, was we didn't get any warning. That it was an amazing lightning storm for us, and a heavy downpour. We got 5 inches of rain here, but we didn't get warnings until very late. I want to say midnight, and that the prior forecast for July 3rd, July 4th forecast was a 30% chance of rain, a couple of inches. If you looked at the Weather Channel or your weather app on your phone, then we saw the weather coming in, and you can tell by the cloud formations and stuff like that, and the wind picks up and all the rest of it, and it just dumped real hard. Then we had the lightning storm and the whole shooting match. Clearly not as bad as what other areas got. Shit gets very, very, very localized here. Because we're on rainwater, we get really pissed off when the rain misses us, right? It'll literally go around my house. It'll go to the north or the south. So we get all these warnings. Sometimes nothing happens, and when we get warnings late, after the fact, after my house has got a 1/4 inch of water in it. Anyway, let's see, hot button issue. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, and I think this is a good point here. I think and I think once again, our muscle-bound city manager made some points, and really, what a contrast between the mayor. I mean, the mayor is this effete guy who's said, there's going to be bad news today. Soldier on. City manager took the bull by the horns and said, look, we're doing this. We're going to find everybody. We're going to solve problems. And yes, we need to reassess going forward how we can do things better. Shut the fuck up. We're not talking about incriminations, and we're not talking about who's at fault. Let's go save lives. Love that, right? Practical, hardcore. Same with the sheriff's office here in Kerrville. Just fantastically well represented, and they weren't particularly articulate because they all from around here, they speak different, and but they did a good job. I'm super proud of everybody. And yeah, this foresight, this was just so impressive to me, and really made me very happy to be a resident of Texas. Uh, oh my gosh, yeah. In fact, so the Camp Mystic dude, head, what do you call it? Head counselor, I guess. With the camp director, that's what he is. Got up, heard what was going on with the rain and everything, and then went to what he thought would be the most affected camp, and got a lot of kids out. They got swept downriver, got them all hooked to a clothesline or a rope or something, and kept a dozen kids alive. So fantastic effort. Uh, yeah, yeah, Mo, he could well be. There's this whole Texas First Responder group and stuff like that. They're all out here. All right, Kai, thanks, man. Thanks for chipping in. Yeah, Grok on Rich, that this to me is what actually makes me kind of emotional. I see these guys who are so selfless and so on it that you really, really, it's an emasculating thing to me, because these guys are just like, okay, let's go get this shit done. Let's go fix things. Let's go find people. Let's go save them, or let's bring the bodies home. Right? Good stuff. All right. Okay. Look, I didn't want this to be a long thing. Suffice to say, not a lot of gaming going on. No dice rolling. I think I'm going to need to do some dice rolling just to get a little bit of a break from the constant stream of updates. I've been, we have a lot of friends in Austin, and still from moving, and friends here as well, and we're all checking in on each other. And so my 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 wife's phone broke. Really bad timing. Her phone broke the day before, and the screen died and whatnot. And so I said, look, take July 2nd or July 1st, I think it was. July 2nd, I think it was. And she said, what am I going to do? I can't say it too loudly because she's in the other room, but she's a little attached to the device, right? She gets a lot of calls, a lot of texts. She said, busy girl. I said, look, I'm not really working, so, retired, whatever. You take my phone, right? Just, we swapped out, right? To put her SIM card in my phone. Well, fuck me. Here comes the storm and everything. We had a lot, thankfully, a lot of people checking in on us, and we're checking in on people. So I went and bought her a new phone today, and had to go to San Antonio and deal with T-Mobile, which is a whole nother story. But I get my SIM card put into a phone, and which reminds me, I'm going to buy another phone that I can use the same SIM card on, and just have it as a spare for myself. But what's my point there? Oh, so I get back on, and I'm not a particularly social person, and I had 18 text messages, people checking in, folks I haven't heard from in quite a while. So it was nice to reconnect with a lot of folks. So anyway, I'm going to stop the waffle, and we will call it what it is. I'm not going to do any more updates. What I will do is say that if you have spare $5, I'm just posting it right now. I'll just let this thing post. Yeah. If you can send money, there are people who have these folks. This is a poor town. There's wealthy people, and then there's folks who are struggling, and we do what we can to help where we can. But these folks have lost everything. These RVs, in many cases, they're laborers, they're itinerant workers, they're immigrants, both legal and illegal, and they are losing everything. E- Everything. They're living in RVs. They're living in uh, mobile homes that are not well secured and all the rest of it. And so anything that you guys can give to help out these folks, based on this post I just made in the thing in the stream, would be much appreciated. All the best. Stay safe. Roll some dice. Take it easy.